does a great job teaching guys. We probably lost 10 players the first year we went in there. They didn't want to do what we asked them to do. Now, Mike is fun. He works hard, Coach Price is. Players have fun. The doors are always open. He's great that way. Okay? Probably finish almost every practice with something that's got a pretty good time. I mean, one day we drove his Hummer out there and they had relay races on the field with offensive line pushed him down a certain time, the D-line pushed him, and he was in it. So he has a good time. They just enjoy the heck out of the guy. And, but his yes is yes, and his no is no. And some of us, myself included, struggle with that kind of deal. You know, it's, if you got gray hair, it's not as much fun. And that's why we lost 10 guys. We lost both our starting defensive ends from the year before, but they were 2-10, and 2-10 and 2-10, 3 previous years. And so losing them wasn't a big deal. Having guys that wanted to do what was right and be disciplined was a big deal. So it was neat. Okay, like I said, I want to talk about one back run versus cover 4 and how we play it over and G, both of those things. So oh, thank you, appreciate it. Hey, where's the bathroom at?
Right around the corner. Yeah,
Oh, it is?
Right
outside. Okay, thanks. It's staying in the 4 deep shell, basically, and how we might game up the front and do some of those things. And then I'm going to put those things aside later tonight. Look at 2 back plus 1 defense, and tomorrow look at 2 back plus 1, or 1 back plus 1 defense. Cover 4 without the aid of a drop-down safety, basically, is what we're talking about. Quarters coverage, okay? And here's the way we look at this. Okay? There are, like we mentioned before, there are some real advantages, and then there are some things that aren't special about it. And every coverage has that. We all know that. But the advantages to cover 4, quarters coverage, that's what we call cover 4. We call it cover 8 at Washington. Okay? Cover 8. Phil Snow, who some of you guys know, is really a great coach. He's with the Bears now, but he and I coached together there. And we all called it the same thing, cover 8. Whoa. Shut that off for a second. And it does make sense, quarters, right? I don't know why we go cover 8. Anyway, here's the thing. You got pretty good run support, even in 1 back. Pretty good. And what it says, mix there, remind me to talk about what mix means. 4 mix. Okay? It basically mixes cover 4 and cover 2 on the release of a route key, which is the second inside receiver, or the second receiver. Okay? You can defend verticals. That's for sure, right? You're sitting on top of them, you ought to be able to key and play them. And if you get good jams on them, that helps you with your inside backers and your outside guys. So you got a chance to play 4 verticals. You gain a cutter on route key. Okay? What do I mean by that? First, I'll give you one quick example. This is the first play of the game. Washington State. Okay? The apricot. Okay? Dead key. Tight end drag, play the dig. Okay? Play the dig from the 2-man side. Now you can cut them anywhere you want to, right? You got the freedom in quarters coverage. You can say, okay, that tight end drags, play X, or play Z. We didn't. So you get on, you key in the tight end 2 corner, you get inside the post, okay? Because we're going to get this, and we're going to get that dig. Okay, that's going to clear the strong safety out. He's not going to be able to do anything but chase that. And that safety is going to pick that ball up every time. He's keying it. Because you get to decide, right? You get flexible cut rules for your safeties. And that's what he did. He picked that baby off. And here, when you cut the route, move down there to about 15, kick the field goal, and we're hitting 3-0. Okay? So you get flexible cutter rules, You can say, here's what we do, guys. Take your routes and define what they are. Not the route, like that's a drag, right? But take your routes that you see and define the route concept, okay? And I have about 16 route concepts, and you're welcome to have those. If you want them, I'll send them to you. They're already defined. That's the 3-level middle, okay? 3-level middle. Clear? Okay, got it? Good, everybody see that? Almost every boot is 3-level weak, or you can call it strong, depending on which way it goes, okay? Let's say the boot's out of that. It's almost all 2x2, isn't it? Okay. So you're almost always going to get this. Okay? You're almost going to get one level, a clear level, and what's this guy going to do? That's right, he's going to be that deep drag. 3-level weak. Almost every route is the same. Look at it. And then you coach your guys about the concept. Boot, 3-level weak, that's what it is. It's always the same hook. Always, almost always the same hook. Strong flat. Okay? I don't care what the formation is, but let's go clear, flat, curl. Strong flat. Okay? That's what the concept is. How do you defend that in the coverages that you play? Maybe cover 4 can't play it. And you better have an answer to strong flood, so you're all talking the same terminology. And they're route concepts, okay? Just the concept of route. The drive series. Just whatever you see, you make them up and say, okay, guys, this is how I'm teaching you through these route concepts. And that's how we do it. So when we go underscale, our 3 linebackers and 2 safeties against the 2s and the 3, the numbers. We don't need the 1s always. Sometimes we'll add them in because they run shallow, basically, and that adds that number in. But we're going to go against the 2s, counting from the outside in, 1, 2, 3, 2. We're going to go against those 3 guys with our 3 backers. Our safeties, that's underscale. And we're going to teach route concepts. Or we're going to go half zone. Okay? Just one side. A 1, a 2, and a 3. And maybe a 4. A 2 on the other side. It becomes a 4. Okay? So we're going to work those things and work. We're just going to do, Coach Duffy and I are going to say, what route concepts do we need today? And we'll work these route concepts. It makes it easier to package things. We also have a group called individual, which means, hey, they're just trying to beat your guy, okay? So it doesn't have a route concept. But a lot of the things you see, you'll have route concepts too, okay? So you can match up on routes aggressively. You're not defending air. We just say it's soft man to our backers. It's matchup zone. It's basketball, okay? Here's the things that are issues with it before we get to disadvantages for the linebackers. You got to teach it a soft man, okay? You need to know, as a cover 4 coach, when to jump a route, okay? When to physically go get it, okay? When to attack the route, when to hold the route off, okay? When to hold it off, when it's not important to attack it, and when to pass it off. Those are the 3 things that you need to know. Okay, so I'll give you these examples. Let's talk about that. Let's look at it. Just kind of give an example as we come back to this, as far as cover 4 goes. Okay, if it's match up, counting from the outside in. Okay, we'll just take let's just take one line back. Let's say we're in solid, which is G. And that guy, and straight cover 4. And number 2 does that. What would you do to that? Would you jump that route? Well, let's go. That's not a good deal. Let's go like that. Would you jump that route? As a matchup guy? You better. Yeah, you better go get that because you got that too, right? Okay? If that split's a normal split, you need to play that route because it's matched up. It's man-to-man on that kind of route. This would be 1-2 here. Let's go to this one. And a smash, okay? 5-yard outs. I'm running by here, jamming that guy, and he stops. I'm running like crazy to that because that corner's going to fall off that. Because what's this route going to be? Okay, corner. Okay? So those are routes that you got to jump. You got to go play them. Let's go over to this side here. Let's go over to this side right here. How about the start, that route? You going to jump that? No. You're going to run to the outside edge of the curl. That is a hold-off route because that's strong flood in it. And this guy's going to punch through two, recognize two verticals, and if they have double curl, which we don't see a lot of, quite frankly, it's probably going to be that. I'm going to try to punch through that and get to the inside edge of the curl. While this guy hovers on the outside edge of the curl. That is hold-off. Hold off the route. Okay? That is attack the route. Okay? And the other thing I mentioned to you was know when to pass it off. Okay? The Achilles heel of anything, in any coverage, especially when you're matching up, is crossing routes and delays. Okay? Crossing routes and delays. So that's what we spend most of our time on. Crossing routes and delays because we have to pass them off. Because we can get, and we usually talk about the split between 2 and 2. So let's move them down a little bit and make them tighter. We're going to look at that. That Mac Bagger's going to say zone up. Zone up, which means play soft. Don't jump in because you're probably going to get, when we go to outside control left, we're going to get that and that. And now we're going to push. Okay? Push that stuff back off. And that's how our eye progression goes on. All the drags, as we squeeze it, because we have to squeeze and deliver it, we have to squeeze it a little bit, close and deliver. Oh gosh. As that happens, as we close and deliver it, you got to look across. That's what you see. That's where your eye progressions go, as a quarter coverage.
Coach,
Yeah.
you're going to come to this. How about your eye progression for your safety in your corner? Is it 1 to 2, 2 to 1?
Yeah. I'll go through that.
Okay.
Let's finish this, then
All right.
I'll do that. Yeah. Okay. The disadvantages, corner got to play inside man technique. You know, you got to get over the top of the post, right? Because your safeties are basically playing curl, dig, under the post. The ball's got to be thrown this way, okay? They're not on top of the post unless we call area. We can play 4 area, which means we'll put zoning in the quarter. It's 3rd and 15, 18. It's the last play of the, or it's an area where they take a shot. And everybody's got that first down. I'm on the 34-yard line. You know, going in. I'm taking a shot. We might play 4 area then. That means we're not gonna play the fish routes. You know, that's the tight number 2 curling, the post in behind. We're gonna play the area. We're zoning the quarter. We're playing softer, basically. Okay? And dividers means if that corner lines up, we're almost always inside control. Always, we tell them. You're inside control, or working to inside control. Unless you're in a divider area, which means if the ball's on the hash, it's 19 yards to the sideline, and that receiver, number 1 that you're lined up on, that's you, is on top of the numbers. Okay? In our game, the numbers are obviously this way. This is 5-0, right? Space. I can see it from the side. It's not like this. It's like this, right? There's the 5. The top of the 5 and 0 is 9 yards from the sideline. If he's on top of that, then I'm going to make sure I work my way into the boundary to the outside edge of that receiver, because it's 9 yards to the out. Too much outcut space. Okay, so we'll give them what we call dividers, just rules as to, okay, if that sucker's 9 yards from the sideline, I'm probably not gonna play inside control and give up the outcut. Okay, I want to drive from the outside edge, and I'm gonna get over the top from there. Okay? So we give them little rules in terms of don't be goofy in that regard. Okay. Strong and weak outcuts are a little bit of an issue. Now you got to press them some. Okay. And if you can't press them some, you got to roll up some to them too. You got to help your corners out a little bit. And then cover 4 beaters. I mentioned that to you before. This is kind of a 4 beater, which everybody sees. We call it fish. The concept is fish. We're going to get this guy to stop at about 10, and that guy to run a post in behind him. You know, does that safety drive that? We want our safeties to know you don't. We let the linebackers play at 10, maybe 12. Okay? Fall off that and get underneath that. Corner's going to go over the top, and you get underneath the post. Okay, so that ball has to be thrown like this and not like that, because it's delivered usually about 25 yards. Okay, so that's a 4 beater. You know, it's one of those things that people try to do all the time. Okay? Okay, so those are the advantages and disadvantages. But that's our lead coverage. You got to be able to play that. And we've done a decent job of that. Now, you were talking, let me just throw this philosophy on. Here's what it is. It's giving you the best chance to play all routes, every route, okay, by matching up. Okay? It's based on counting. But your guys do it anyway. I mean, that's just what they do. They can count 1, 2, 3 is the middle guy, 2 on the other side, and 1 on the other side. It's not difficult to do. We don't have. They weren't a quarters team when we got there, and they got to be a good. We've gotten to be a good quarters team. We understand it. You got to master some movement for the backers. X drill means you got to be able to stay in that shuffle with fairly square shoulders. For our linebackers, we tell them to gain, for every 2 yards they gain in width, we gain 1 yard in depth. Okay, that's the angle we come out at. We're not across. When we have normal splits, we expect to get jams at that position. See how my shoulders are? At that position, you need to be able to do that. Particularly on the inside, guys, because if you're turned here, they end up undercutting you and getting underneath you. So the flatter we are, the better we are. It's a slight stagger, not a giant one. Okay? You got to be able to, when I said X drill, if your number 2 drags across, you got to be able to flatten out. You got to be able to carry and search back across. You got to be able to see that. That's what we call X drill. It looks what's Christmas tree drill. It looks like that. It may come this way, that way. That way might come back with a mic backer. We're working it. We're shuffling. We're feeling. We're not chasing. We're closing and delivering. That's the terminology that we use in terms of routes, so we can match up on the routes as best we can. And we've been pretty good at that. Like I said, we're fairly athletic at outside backer. Our mics are 4'8" guys. That's what they are. They're not unbelievable. I mean, they're very good players, but they're not unbelievable speed-wise, okay? Again, it's based on counting receivers and matching up, knowing when to do those 3 things, when to attack or out, go get it, when to hold it off, and when to pass it on. Okay. Pattern reading, eye progression is just what I said. You go from 2 to 3, because if I'm the... Okay. If I'm on 3 here, and he goes that way, I'm sitting over the top of him. If he does anything actively outside, I'm pushing the route. I'm expecting that to become 3, and I'm telling that backer to push, get width. Now, if it's an attack situation, he's going to go ahead and go get it. If it's a hold-off situation, he's going to hold it off. Okay? So you got to know how to push off routes. And vision point drop would be like this. Okay? Let's say it's Trey. Okay? There's 3 over there. We'll talk about that particular look in a minute. And he goes to that side. That's a vision point drop for Will. Where's 2? And that's 1, 2, 3, 4, basically, right? It must be one of those guys coming back. So he's going to drop to a vision point to find the new 2. Could be this guy, could be that guy, could be anybody. We're matching up accordingly. Okay? That's what vision point drop means. We're dropping, we're opening our vision up, really just passing it off and looking for the new 2 coming from the other side. And I'll answer that question in just a second, just remind you that. Okay, there's the numbers, right? Based on route, matchup, there's 2, there's 3, there's 2. You would squeeze that if 3 went that way and 2 went this way. Okay? He's going to push that. Kept going. That would be the matchup. That would be a hold-off, coming from that much depth, okay? That would be a hold-off situation for the Will, just like this is, okay? Like you said, Coach, that's not an attack situation. No need to jump that, okay? And that's how you push those routes off, okay? And, here, 3 went that way. They're all keying. We're going to get into keys, but that happened. That Will backer's playing one of these 2 guys in a short route more than likely, unless he gets a push situation. Okay? Mike's going to start that way. There's your X drill. He's coming over to find a new 3. And Will is blind a little bit to that drag, so we got to have that great push call by Mike. Push, push, push. Pushing off. Will push him off number 2. and he'll get in that position and play that drag. And we do a good job of that. Our guys have great awareness. We spend a lot of time doing it. It's no big deal. Now, eye progressions for the safety. There is a line of scrimmage. We use a line of scrimmage key for both the strong safety and the free safety, because we do ask them to be part of the fit. It's not right away, obviously, but they are part of the fit. So, generally speaking, if I'm 2 by 10 off the tight end tackle and there's a strong safety, that's what I'm looking for. And that's why I mentioned that I like to have our guys be the tackles, so they can say that.
Once they read and once they see the run,
Once they see the run,
pass,
yeah.
now it's 2 to 1 and 1 to 2, like the inside backer is 2 and 3.
right? It is. It's their 2 to vertical.
Right.
Off a straight line release, there was no vertical issue. I don't have a vertical responsibility. Okay? Then my eyes, we tell them to set and transfer. Okay, that's what we tell them. Where do you think we transfer to? To the quarterback. Okay, set and transfer. My eyes are going to transfer back to the quarterback. I might want to play the front side, and I might not. We don't just automatically lock him into that.
Still read 3-step.
We come out reading 3-step, right, with our corners. With our corners. And we're just looking through the tight end tackle box with our safeties. And if we get 3-step, we're driving them.
So you're saying, so if your
The
corner,
outside.
once he sees pass, now he's seeing what 2 is doing?
Our corner,
Yeah, and he's going 2 to 1?
well,
No.
no, most of the time our corners are reading 3-step. Okay? They might be reading through the tight end, but they're reading the 3-step, and they're creeping for the first, through the creep 3-step, as we tell them. In other words, they're not backpedaling hard. Okay? They're walking out of their backpedal. That's how we teach it. Reading the 3-step. So if we get that ball up right now, we're transferring eyes back to the wideout, and we're prepared to drive on whatever we see. Okay? Because we're off 8 yards. You know, we're not up there. Unless we're pressed, we're off. We're off man. Safeties are 10 by 2, unless it's mixed. They're 10 by 2. Yeah, yeah, off the wideout or perceived wideout, where it would be. We're not gonna follow him. We're not gonna be 2 yards inside him if he's outside the numbers, for example. Yeah. Yeah. But the safeties are reading a line of scrimmage key to the ball. That's what they're doing. And we know what happens by a route key, for example. If number 2 goes out, you know, that's a great indication it's probably curl, or just a regular route key would be out curl, right? So we're going to set and transfer, and we're thinking curl or underneath the post. That's because it's going to be front side play. Whatever the route keys that you have, we just take them right through your normal. What does an arrow route by the tight end mean? It means usually that if it's going to involve me, that number 1 is going to run a curl. Okay? It's as simple as it gets generally. And if he stays vertical, we stay vertical on him and cover him. Okay? From that slide outside.
So on the slot side, so the safety, I'm sorry.
No.
On the slot side with the safety, if 2 releases outside,
That frees me up.
that
right?
frees me up now. I'm looking for maybe probably for something coming in.
The first thing we tell them to do is we have an idea what that out means, okay? Because of route concepts. Usually that's out, or something back inside by 1. But we do set the transfer. We change our vision from that number 2. And we went from pass, see our line of scrimmage key, to 2. Okay? And then we're going to get our eyes back on the guy who's going to throw the ball. Okay? Okay? That's
2 goes vertical and the safety.
If 2 goes vertical, I don't have an issue. Yeah, I'm going. Yeah, I'm going. Now, if we get a split that's 5 yards, 5 or 6, and sometimes it's even 7, depends on the team. But most of the time when there's a 5-yard split by 1 and 2, the distance between 1 and 2 is 5 yards. Okay? You with me there? That's a tight split. Okay? That's an automatic area call. Because the route concept we see is either the short out wheel and the curl, okay, or it's the deep scissors. And we tell our guys in quarter coverage after usually 12 yards, you're matched up. You're manned up. The corners and safety. If they ran like this and did that, we're manned up. Right? You got a jam guy underneath you. They did that. Or this guy runs off, and number 2 runs a 14-yard out. That's your guy. Okay? You got it. Well, there are issues with this, right, at 14. But the splits are always such that you can look at it and say, area, get outside, get inside, and let it eat.
So by area, it's kind of like
We're
a
zoning the
combo.
quarter. Just zone the quarter. Just relax. Okay? Don't drive the outside. Get inside it and get outside it and let it eat itself up. Okay? We did a great job against Colorado in the Houston Bowl a year ago. They ran it 6 times. They never completed it because these guys were in great shape all the time. But you can now their split was 7. We went clear out to 7, which is a little extended. But they always did that. I mean, they didn't always do it, but there was a high likelihood that you could get the scissors out. Okay, so that would be their route progression. Okay.
Do you apply that to the tight end side also?
Yes, it's exactly the same. Yeah, yeah, we do. Yeah, unless there are a lot of times when, depending on what they do, if they motion that tight end, that flanker down, that could be a cloud call now. We could roll that corner up there, and then it wouldn't be an issue. We got a corner. Corner's not a cloud because they're doing it for different reasons. There's also, keep that in mind, if you're playing Arizona State, which we did, particularly into the boundary, I'm going to do it 2 backs. And they do this. Actually, that's a strong set. And we get 3 levels weak, okay? So then you don't want to cloud that now. You want that corner to come down here to the top. Strong safety there. Free safety to cross. See that? And then do that. Okay? So you can match it up, right? You can match that thing up. You don't have any problem. Okay? And so you get an extra guy on the dig, on the deep drag. So it depends on the route concept. You just go to work on what you see and say, okay, this is an unusual thing. This is the hardest one. Let's defend that. Okay? Let's talk about walked reads, okay? When you're walked, it could be the salmon, it could be the will, and you want to stay in your 4-deep shell, okay? So here I am, the will linebacker, okay? So I key through that tackle to the near back. And same thing with the Sam. If I'm the Sam, I key through that tight end, and I'm walked because it's the tray open, to the near back, okay? And I want to see the run action. Here's the way we perceive that, okay? Similarities, you're going to get, let's just start with zone, okay? You're going to get zone or boot. And that's how we present it. You're going to get zone or you're going to get boot, okay? The inside backers are going to be tailback keys, okay? Just like that. Tailback keys, just like that, okay? If it's over, that's a flow formation for you. And I'll get to the how we break that down in just a second, okay? And if that Sam backer's out, that's going to bring Mike and Will in the box. And whenever Mike and Will in the box, it's solo fits for us. They both got a gap, okay? They're going to work their way out on stretch, but they both clearly have a gap, okay? When Will's out, the Sam and Mike have 2 gaps, just like they do if there are 2 backs in the backfield. They're going to overlap weak, okay? That's what we call flow. So that's flow, and Will's walk, and that's solo fits. And they're not, okay? And they both have tailback key. Okay? So here's how it fits. Okay? And this we will do. This and G, the solid look, we do both of these, okay? Now without a game, okay? Without a game, we'll game the front up too, but let's just look at the concept, okay? Basically, if you got zone that way, okay? You're going to get that Mike back, and we boss him over just a little bit. We move him with the will just a little. He's going to hit that B gap. Okay? And Sam Backer's going to do that and that. And that safety, you asked about what happened, whether they zone it or cut him off, would be the backside C-gap player. Okay? Good there? Went the other way. Now, here's the issue, okay, with that. How do you play that? Tight end down. The similarity. That's boot, right? You get zone, and you got boot. Okay? That's hard. Some people play an I'm down concept, which means that strong safety will play the tight end if he blocks down and releases out. We don't. I mean, it's good too, but we hover him for the deep drag. Okay, you know, he's still got 3 levels, right? So the same thing, right? Okay, so we're going to hover him there and pick that one up, and we'll tell that Sam Backer to bust his tail to get out. And we snatch up. I told you we played some jam, he hit a lot. Heavy, the end's heavy. Snatch that guy up and ride him down the line of scrimmage with our heavy and release him late. We've gotten holding penalties. I hate it. Because he's blocking your ass, okay? But that's how we do it. So we buy this guy a little bit of time, and then we tell that Sam Backer to run for the far flag. As soon as you see elephant walk, similar but it's not the same. Let your ass plant, drive, and run for the far flag. Do not worry about the tight end. Go over the top of him in your movement, and you'll catch up with him. Okay? It's not, that is not perfect. Okay? Going the other way. Okay, going this way. You got that A gap, that C gap, that's extra, okay? Here's what the Will Backer does. He reads that tackle. I've got this on video for you. It's walked reads, okay? This is what he does. Okay, I'll make this the tackle on the end. There's the Will, okay? We good there? He zones down. Can the end play the belly? For the end, it's belly boot reverse. That's what we tell him. Can he squeeze down here? It's fast for him. Get across line scrimmage, squeeze down. Can you play that belly coming back? Yes, he can. Okay, so I'm the Will Backer. I'm in my walk position. And usually, if it's a pass down, we're going to keep that tackle to see we said pre-snap look. He's setting light. We're going to widen that a little bit. Okay, and we're going to kind of screw around with our alignments, prowl a little bit. Come in here. Oh, looks like run. I'm going to come in a little bit more. I may apex the center and the wide out. See what I'm saying? That makes it closer to the ball, right? Or it looks like pass. Then I'll apex the tackle and the slot. I'll move myself out a little bit. Okay? But if you get that zone, my movement is towards it, because I'm the cutback player, right? Okay? But I don't need the help now. What did the end do? He's fast, right? He's shot. It's fast technique for us. Okay? My eyes transfer right now to H, that slot, okay? If he's coming down to cut me off, I'm going to try to beat him, or if I can, I'm going to engage him and play off him, okay? And I'm going to see the action, okay? Zone away could be something else too, right? What? Boot, right. It can be boot, which it is as often as it is zone. That's what we tell our guys. So you're going to get, there's the zone away, and you get that, right? Okay? We said you can play that. And then chase him back on the boot. Okay? Chase him back. You don't have to get a lot of penetration. Chase him back. Okay? This guy will shuffle down, pop steps, sees that, comes out here to number 2, plays the pivot. Okay? Or if it's bubble, where's he going? Right to him, right. Chase it down the line of scrimmage. He's got a 4.5-yard advantage in terms of distance downfield. And that's the two looks we get. We get pivot and we get bubble on boot. Okay? And if the Will Backer's the widest, you got to play both of those. And it always comes off that look. Okay? He doesn't have to play the big guy. Okay? Because we're expecting that end to do that. Okay? Okay, let's go a little farther here. Let me say this happens now. You get zone away, and you get that. And now what's that Will have to do? That turnout block. He pops his feet. He's looking through that tackle. Gets zone away. That tackle's blocking out. Got to play it. Got to play the big guy. That's the only 2 looks you got. Okay? That's it. That's it. That's the looks. Now, I'll mention this to you too. That is traditional front side keys for both those guys. Okay? If you got a real good TED team where this guy You with me there? Does that. You do that. Okay? Okay, you with me? Then you can cross key that. You've done that before with that will. Back up a half a yard. Look at the tight end tackle. It gives you two things you can do. You'll see the Ted. Will zone away be the same? Yeah, it'll look the same. Just come from the other side. It's the same exact thing. They're all zoning, so I'd see him zoning. Look at the tackle. He's doing his cutoff deal. Find the slot. Okay? Tackle comes back around to you. Fill it, man. Fill it. Go get it. The other thing you might see, we do this some just for practice, just so our guys could do it. What's the other thing if you're looking at the tight end tackle you'll see with regards to boot, especially in older? You see the tight end. You'll see the tight end boot right now. Right now. And that's the way Washington State does it all the time. They're a straight 4-3 team. Not all the time. Nothing's all the time. But it gives them a chance. And when you tell your kids, okay, let's cross kid, it's no big deal to them. Honest to God, they got to look at something. It's no big deal to them. If it helps them by recognizing plays, then what's the difference? But I'd say back up a little bit so you have a little more space to see. Okay? Okay, does that make sense to you there? Okay? You ask me, some of you guys, there's a solo fit, right? Mike and Will are in the box, solo fits. Okay? That's if they just run zone play. Obviously, if somebody pulls, we're going with the pull. That's just what we're doing. This is also what we call key, right? What that means is if we're playing quarters coverage, cover 4, when they get in 3-by-1, the thing we do automatically, unless we tag it to 3-by-1, is we key that formation. Okay? That means that that guy and that guy have a little different responsibility. He has this guy man-to-man on anything weak, okay, that stays on the weak side. Okay? And you can hold it off, or you can say that this right here is something you've got to attack. Right? Again, the two things that are Achilles heels to quarters coverage is crossing routes and delays. Kind of delay in that tail back that right there. Screen. That's right. So if that's an issue, then you attack it. Because what happens here is, and this guy's got to be good at this, don't change your alignment, free safety. Don't work over towards the tray side. Don't do that. Matter of fact, the good ones take a step towards X. He's going to leave X alone. He's going to play this guy man-to-man. And depending on the release of 3, that's what key does, okay? We're playing 4 right there. Okay, we're playing 4. That guy doesn't count. He counts only to this guy. The Mike linebacker, slide over a little bit, is going to short wall. His angle of departure to the tight end, or number 3, to the tight end or number 3, is going to be about that. His departure angle, so we get a jam that's about 7 yards. We want a jam at 7 yards. That clearly defines to the safety on the back side what the intentions of number 3 are. So I'm coming out here, I'm going to get a jam, and I'm going to play him hard 7 yards. Not playing my normal rules, 7 to 10. But I want to get a jam at 7, I want to cover him up to 10, 11, 12. That's what I ask. Extend yourself a little bit. So that this guy, if you got 4 verticals, then you're actually going to get 4 verticals this way, aren't you? And come back. Would end up being that. There's your 4 vertical defense. That's just called key. And that's how we play. That's our initial starting point. Hey, Trey, any 3-by-1. Key. Okay, end up on the back side. And of course, if this guy went that way, now he's looking, that's your search situation. You're going to find a new 2 coming back. Okay? All right? That's how it fits. Now, if they ran the teddy over here, I'm going to go back and say, they run this teddy here, what's that little backer going to do? What would he do? What is our number 1 premise in terms of fit? That's right, we'll spill that thing, aren't we? And that safety's going to see that. He's going to get it filled. That's how we do that. Okay? He's involved in the fit. He's part of it. Okay? Okay. Let's take, now that's without any movement. There's line movement that you can use that'll help you in certain things, right? And all we say is the name of the guy. The guy is, so in over, we wanted that rev to spark into the C gap, a B gap. we just call red. Okay? So now, obviously, that's easy for the will. I don't have to worry about playing B gap, does it? If we wanted to tackle the spark, it's tackle. If we wanted the heavy and the tackle the call to a spark, it's hunt. Okay? The nose then has to wrap around for late contained. Okay? It's called pirate. Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I don't understand pirate. I understand that is pirate. Okay? My guy's going to know it. That's what it is. Okay? Same thing. Okay? So there's some movement you can use to help yourself out in those regards. Okay? All right, out of solid, this is the G front, right? That's your underlook. Okay? The reeds are exactly the same for the walked off backer. They don't change. Don't change anything we do. If you're walked off, whether it's 10 personnel or 11, you have the same triangle reed. Or you can have the same cross key, right? You can go clear to the other side. If it makes sense to you, as you're looking at it, in one back, you can have either of those two things you care to look at. Okay? Okay? Now, the fit. This, whenever Mike's in the box by himself, because that happens in solid. Now, the good thing about solid, okay, compared to oval, how many of you guys get roll G out of oval? With a 3 and an 8, or 3 and a 9, how many of you guys get the tackle blocking down and the guard blocking around? Just all the time. They just live for that, okay? Well, now if I move and now I put my sandbacker up there, and I got a 5 technique, a 3, a 5, and a 9 basically, right? That linebacker's not a 30, that Mike backer's more like a 20-eye. He moves inside shade of the guard, but it looks like a 3, a 5, and a 9. That changes the scheme over there, see what I'm saying? Not even get Ted. You get the tackle blocking down and the guard rocking around, or the tight end blocking down and the tackle rocking around. That's what you're going to end up getting. They don't like that as well. Because who's standing over the tight end reading? That's safety. That's right. So that's not a good place to run. It's not as good a place to run as it is against over. So I like the solid look of the G look. Okay, I think it's a good fit. But you're gonna get this. But no big deal. You got that guy keying in there, and you're in good shape. Okay. Now, if I'm telling the Mike linebacker, we're going to have some, we can't have the Mike backer having an A gap on the weak side because it's flow. He's going to take the flow side gap. The B gap on the tight end side and the A gap on the weak two-man side. That'd be disaster because any tailback can make that, right? So we're going to reduce the two-man side a little bit. And this is how we're going to do it. That's tar, tackle and red. They're going to spark in there, okay? That's a late wrap by the nose, obviously, for contain. But we're talking run here. We're trying to get the very best we can out of being 4 deep. Okay? Out being 4 deep, playing 4 deep covers like quarters, but still defend the run to some degree. Okay? That means the will backer on action this way would be the cutback player, right? It has to come all the way back to the C gap for him to defactor, and he's reading the same thing. That tackle zoning down, that end now is going to come off the ass. He's going to play just like he does in over. Okay? He's going to end up playing the same thing. That means the will does the same thing. Down block, eyes transfer to number 2, and I'm going to play whatever shows. If he's coming to block me, I'm going to knock the dog out. Okay? He's a pissant wide receiver. That's what he is. Okay? If he pivots or runs the bubble, I'm going to him right now. I'm matched up. Okay? So the reads there are the same. And we just do walk reads. We just keep working those walk reads, walk reads, and walk reads.
What's his line on walk?
Well, again, we give him some flexibility. Okay? If you think that tackle's in a run stance, we're going to apex the center and him. So he might be right there. See the difference? Now, but if it's pass, we ask him to apex the tackle and him. So he might be right there. And so we're going to give him some flexibility, and he's never going to be wrong. Okay? Never make it wrong. Okay?
It looks like he's almost like a yard or 2 inside.
Yeah, that's not a very good diagram, is it? Yeah. That's not a very good drawing. Okay? All right, the other stuff, we might have it just a tackle toe, okay? So So keep the reb on the edge, okay? Might just tackle it. Now the Mike Backer's flow reads are from B gap to B gap, okay? He's only got one of them. I would mention this for the Mike Backer now. For the Mike Backer, whenever the A gap and B gap are taken on the weak side, he's backside the ball. That makes sense to you? I'm going to stay back behind the ball. And it'll squirt outside real fast. He'll know that. And that's what I ask him to say, what are you? Okay, so I'm backside to the ball. If the ball squirts out, the Will's going to squeeze it, not tricking the safety, right? He's going to hit, he's the alley player. Man, well, I didn't say that. He's the alley player here. Get going. Don't trick this guy. Okay? He needs to know that that's going to happen so that now he fits off of you. And that corner fits off of safety. Okay? And we don't have the safety ever pop the crack. Okay?
Coach, is that zone away we're talking about?
No, that'd be zone 2.
Okay.
Yeah, that's zone 2. Yeah. I'm sorry. That'd be zone this way. Right? That'd be zone that way. But hey, man, these guys are zoning this way. Pacing it, right? Backside the ball. Okay? Tight. Scraping pink. In the alley. Get going, man. Get going. He sees that guy block. That frees him up. Get going. That guy cracks. That frees the corner up. The faster they go, based on what the Will Backer does, the better chance we have that the corner can actually replace it. It's the double crack situation. Okay? Okay. Then here's some other games. Okay? Quick thumbs. Penetrating tackle, a lateral rep. Okay? And that's the best game we have when we send the Will Backer. Okay? Like you want to play red coverage, man free, because then the cutbacks dissolve. That tackle gets so much penetration, that tailback can't cut back, so you can tell your Will Backer instead of being, we label them C crash or D crash. If it's C crash, you got to play the cutback. Okay? Like let's say you tar it, both of them went in there. Can the ball get behind the tar? Yeah, it does sometimes. Okay, the Will's got to be cautious. But if you quick thumbs it, now that Will can go right to boot. And you got to be able to come off and play the boots on aggressively. So that's what we do. Okay, and then that's half. It's heavy and tackle. And now if the ball goes this way, that's easy for the Mike. You can go ahead and go fast now, right? Because the cut back on the backside, there's no backside. The heavy's taking it. Who would take the C gap in that case? Huh? Yeah, safety. Yeah. That's C gap for safety is marvelous. So much easier than B gap. You know, it's just much easier. So just a little game in your G stuff, just a little movement gives you a chance. And then zone blitz from that formation too. And zone blitz from the over. So they don't know what you're in all the time. You can't just line up in that because there's going to be some holes. They love that. They love to have 5 in the box, right? And that's basically what you want. Okay? You can move it and make the box be a spill situation by moving your front. And that's what it is, okay? So, and we don't use this. I don't know why that's on there. We wouldn't do that. Because there's no guarantee that guy will go to the C gap. He might cut back, and where would he cut back to? Yeah, and that ain't good. That's not good enough. When I was at UCLA, we did play, we don't have those guys though, the heavy 3, okay, E2 gap, and we tilted our nose. So we squeezed those A's together. That was good. They were good though. And then that was great. We could spark that heavy in there anytime we wanted to. You couldn't cut back because that tackle squeezed it into the nose. See, the nose is tilted. There's no place, it squeezes it. It's hard for it to zone to the tight inside. But that was good. But I tell you, that was hard. They were good. Those front guys were good at that time. We don't have those guys. Okay? So that's solid, doing the same thing, playing 4. Okay? Doing the same looks, doing the same action. Okay? Like I said, the nose are solid fits. Okay, now, excuse me, that's flow fit. One linebacker's flow, right? Here's solid when they move this to trade. Same call for the Sam Backer. If he leaves the box, he says, gone. I'm gone. That automatically puts that heavy in and into. Okay? So he's C gapped outside, automatically. In both fronts. Okay? And now we're solo fit. Okay? There's how we play the Ted. And Mike can spill it, and then we'll try to get over the top. Anything extra we get there is great. Sometimes it's a free safety. So remember, that's key, right? The key, we can get a lot out of him because he's keying that tight end. The tight end's blocking, he's just helping us fit when it's running. Okay, so key does help us in that look. Again, the walk, things are exactly the same. We mentioned this one thing to you before we go on here. What time is this one called? What?
8:45.
Okay. We say mixed. The term mix, okay? Here's what mix means. There's so many especially into the boundary, there's so many multiple plays, like zone, option, and they always have a bubble to it, right? I mean, it's part of the deal. It's like, it's not just one play. He'll take it whenever he wants to, okay? And you want to keep that will backer, let's say I'm going to put him in 10 personnel, okay? Oops. And this is the boundary, okay? And you want to mix. You want to play 4 mix, and we might even bail it, which means that corner's going to roll up, but he's going to run out there, okay? And I'm going to keep that will backer in the box. Okay? Because that sucker right there is really good. It's D'Angelo Williams. You know, he's special. Okay? So we keep him in the box. You with me there? Well, how do we play that then? Well, mix means that these 3 guys right here, and we can do it into the boundary. Okay? Particularly into the boundary because it's spacing. Okay? Those 3 guys on pass, we're going to read number 2. Okay? If number 2 turns out, okay, he's going to the curl, and he sets and plays the flat. You can do it from off or bail. Bail just means that. I like bail sometimes. He can look like we're naked in it. He just opens up and runs, but he's not looking at 1. He's looking at 2. You have 2 sets out, or anything. He sets and plays cover 2. Okay? We start from an off, and they're keying that guy right there, and so is he. Now, we move the safety back because the reality is it could be cover 2. Okay? So instead of being at 10, we don't need to have the 10 anymore. We move the will backer in there, we can play the run. Okay? He's in there. You don't need his help now. So back up, no more flat foot read, creep, and read 2. Okay? So here I am as a safety, and I read my pass key. I'm creeping, 2, out. Corner rolled up on half field. Will can now stay in the box and play the run. That's what mix does. It gives you a chance to take that will backer. Now again, you want to prowl the will back. I'm going to start right there. But it's going to end up prowling back into the box. And now I got 1 more guy in the box, okay? Without letting my end go up the field and do some of that. That's one way you can gain a guy, by mixing the coverage by the release number 2. It's old school too, okay? It's where we used to play 2 all the time. If 2 doesn't, even if he does that, then we're playing 4, okay? If he does that and that, we're playing 4, okay? It's just on the release number 2, period. It's basically, that's not real difficult. A lot of our zone blitzes are that way. If we want to send 5 and play 4 across, we can do that because we have the mix concern. If you guys have zone blitzes, do you do some? Well, with 4 verticals, that's an issue with 3D coverage, right? And a lot of our stuff is 3D, but not necessarily in that situation. You would go ahead and mix the coverage if those 2 guys play. It'd be like this. This kind of principle. But it fits. It fits. You want to run against 10. The NFL guys call it 2. Okay? We don't. Because it's mixed. We know. That's a tailback match for the nose. He's going to punch and match the tailback, okay? Ready to read, that's your screen. And these guys are coming out and they're playing roll up, 1, 2, bail, mix 4. So if you did that, what would that corner do? You play that, and this guy played curl. Same thing over here. Okay? Okay, so now you got, they all ran vertical? You got 4 vertical, these guys are going to jam like, okay? So it fits that 4 mix fits that kind of package, okay? And it keeps your box a little more intact. That's all that does.
Coach, would you have the corner, you tell the corner when he's going to sit in front of the one inside or
Yeah. We want him to. We want him to play it just like 2. Okay? Yeah. It doesn't always work that way. That's what we want it to do. If we bail with him on our inside shoulder, okay? That's how we end up doing it. We turn out. If we're off, we maybe line up inside, but we are looking to the outside edge because we know we're all reading 2. So if he comes out, I want to fast get him now because he's the block. Yeah. And the ball's coming out when it was outside back as you're coming, we're blitzing. Okay? Okay. I mentioned to you, this is a better drawing. I mentioned to you the attack steps. That's what the pen looks like, and I got some film we want to look at that. That'd be a good peek. Okay? But that's how we work it. We do everything in there. It's a little more symmetrical than that. And the backers come through, and it's a real good piece of equipment. You do? Oh, they do. Well, they manufacture them. Yeah, that's good. That's good. Like I said, it's not a million original thoughts, and the guys in the Southeast Coast do a good job of that. So that's what it looks like. Okay. Okay. All right, let's take a look at some of this video, just in terms of attack steps and how we work that, how it looks, and then the walk reads. You'll see what walk reads looks like. And let's visit about issues you have with cover form, how you might defend a specific thing, or just remember that when we said, if I'm the Mike backer and I get Ted, anything that's an insert, this is the bottom line premise that you have to work on when you work your inside fit drills. If we're in G, which is solid as, and we get that, it's a 20-eye linebacker right there, and we get this, okay, how's that Mike backer taking that on? Remember? He's spilling that, right? And that guy has got to get it for us, okay? But he's keying through that tight end tackle. They're fanning and holding, okay? And he's going to hit that thing down. So the safeties are part of the fit. That's part of the deal. Again, it's 2x10. It's flat foot read, okay? Read slow. Read slow. You're okay. React fast. They're all blocking. Ain't nothing left, okay? They're all blocking, run blocking. And you go ahead and don't fit that thing. Get downhill. If you're not 20 yards deep, you've got a chance to help yourself on that. And you got to rob Peter a little bit to pay Paul, because the great thing about it is you got quarters coverage. You can match up every route. Okay? They'll find some beaters, but you can keep changing that thing up. Plus, you got hat, right? That'll help you. They'll spring it wider, right? Just little games, hat, tar, quick thumbs, all those things help you. And then add your man coverage stuff to that. Okay? Add your man coverage stuff to that. Go ahead and I told you with the